Most people don't fail because they lack talent. It's not a question of ability or intelligence. So often, it's because they wait, waiting for that burst of motivation, the perfect moment when everything feels just right. Every morning begins with good intentions, gently stirring in the early light. Tomorrow, next week, after the holidays, they quietly promise themselves. That's when things will change. But days quietly slip into weeks, and weeks drift into years. The dream stays frozen in place while life keeps moving forward. Deep down, behind all the rushed mornings and tired evenings, there's a quiet voice whispering the truth that they're capable of more. The obstacles aren't about talent or worth. It's inconsistency that holds them back. The missed workouts, the unopened books, the small promises broken not to anyone else, but to themselves. Because real success doesn't knock politely, asking how inspired you feel today. It doesn't wait for motivation to visit. It only asks one thing: will you show up, even when you don't want to? Will you keep going even when hope feels faint? This is where change quietly begins. In small, steady choices made by someone who refuses to wait any longer. The problem isn't ability. The problem is inconsistency. Because success doesn't ask how inspired you feel today. It asks whether you'll show up even when you don't feel like it. Change isn't loud or sudden. It happens in quiet moments like these. And it begins when you decide that tomorrow is today. Discipline rarely arrives with fanfare or flawless conditions. Often, it begins quietly, like an alarm ringing in another ordinary morning. In these gentle moments, you sit up, ready to start again. You lace your shoes, setting an intention for movement. Stepping outside, you're greeted by quiet streets and fresh air. You nourish yourself, preparing a breakfast that fuels your day. Jotting down the day's intentions, you bring focus to what matters most. You silence distractions, giving your mind room to focus. A focused work session begins, fueled by your quiet commitment. Success comes in small victories, a task completed, a mindful pause taken. You pause for a mindful break, recharging with intention. Returning to your work, you bring gentle concentration to each moment. You say no to unnecessary distractions, choosing what truly matters. You choose study over comfort, investing in your own growth. You move your body, even when you feel tired, honoring your commitment. One by one, you cross things off your list, building momentum. You smile, remembering the promises you've kept to yourself. Discipline is in reading before rest, choosing quiet over distraction. You set your alarm with intention, preparing for another day. Lights off, you pause in gratitude for the quiet progress you've made. And with a sense of purpose, you rest, knowing you're building something meaningful, one gentle choice at a time.
Discipline rarely changes your life overnight. It changes your days quietly and patiently. With each sunrise, the calendar pages turn, and the small moments start to add up. The early mornings, the steady steps on your run, the careful choices at your desk, they're all seeds of progress. You notice your fitness improving, and your workspace becoming more focused. You receive a gentle nod of appreciation, and suddenly, you see yourself showing up with confidence. Day by day, you check off goals even if they took longer than you expected. Preparing healthier meals feels easier, almost automatic. You share laughter with family, and your energy lifts others around you. Journaling brings clarity, and reflection reveals how far you've come from those doubtful days. Gratitude softens your heart, and the sunrise reminds you that you are moving forward. You inspire those close to you, often without realizing it. In quiet moments, you notice strength growing inside. Confidence is not loud. It's steady, reflected back when you stand tall. And the next step feels natural, purposeful. Walking through the city, you carry that renewed confidence. Your determined eyes see new possibilities. As you move toward the horizon, it becomes clear. The greatest reward isn't achievement itself, but becoming someone who creates success again and again. Motivation gets you started. Discipline carries you forward. And the life you dream about? It's waiting inside the habits you nurture every day. The early mornings, the hard choices, the consistent effort, they begin to compound. Confidence grows because trust in yourself grows. Opportunities appear because preparation meets persistence.